They let us two do it, which is, man, I can't believe that.
I, one time in the outfield, caught a softball with my forehead.
I got cut from my tackle football league, and I got cut from it. Yeah, I wasn't good enough. Out of the elevator, and I didn't know it till now.
I know. I really didn't think about it until a couple weeks ago.
As weeks go on, everybody thinks that, oh, you're not an intern?
Mm-hmm.
Got you.
We have the baby face.
Got you. Yeah, and I'm just like, no, like.
Hey everyone, welcome to the very first episode of the Next Gen podcast. Here, my name is Alex, and my co-host here is Easton, also my tech genius. Would not be able to do this without him.
Tech genius is a big overstatement.
You've only been here for like a month, and you've already made so much progress. I think that says a lot.
Yeah, well, I try my best.
So essentially, we're here today just to, start up this podcast and get that next gen, I guess, of listeners into care about 810. Mm-hmm. I don't know your background with caring about 810 sports radio, but mine personally, like my dad used to work here. I grew up every single day going to 810 Zone, the restaurant when that was still a thing.
Oh my gosh.
It was a long time ago. It was so good though.
I think everybody's stories are like that, where there's like, my dad listened to 810, and let's start getting those people in the mix.
Exactly.
Let's start including them. So I think that would be perfect to get them in the mix, and that's what we want to do here. So,
so yeah. I mean, our jobs specifically, we both work on the kind of the digital and promotional side. Him more digital, me more promotional, but we have a little bit of overlap as well. Mm-hmm. We go to all these different events, and we hear from the older crowd, like the 60-some, the 50s. Oh yeah, I love 810. I've listened to for 20 years, whatever. And then it's the people our age. We're both, you just graduated in May, and I have one more year of school. The kids our age don't listen, but they're like, oh yeah, I know what it is because my dad listens to it.
Yes. Or mom.
We do get those answers more often than not, which I love.
Yeah,
it's definitely a smaller demographic, but so we said, hey, those people know who we are, but don't care about us. Let's make them care about 810 just as much as we do, because it's
and
a fun place.
They let us two do it, which is, man, I can't believe that.
Hey, when we had the idea, and thank you, Mr. Corey, just said, hey, run with it. I think you guys have a great idea. If you can put some manpower behind it, then let's go.
Right. And there's some exceptional athletes in the Kansas area, as well as, young incoming broadcasters that want to pursue that. So it'll be interesting to hear their story and see how they have attacked their career and stuff like that. So
yeah, so the goal would basically be today you just get to hear from us. So it's not that exciting since we're both on that broadcast side now. But we both were athletes. We're washed up youth athletes.
Yeah, I was a pretty big high school baseball. No, I wasn't. I swear I wasn't. And then a big flag football player.
Were you actually?
Yes.
Oh, this is a new story to me.
YMCA flag football. One of the best experiences I've had in my life.
How old were you?
I was from 5th grade to 7th grade. We did that. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I got cut from my tackle football league, and I got cut from it. Yeah, I wasn't good enough, and so I did that with some of my friends. Tavian Josenberger, who is now on the Orioles organization, and he is killing it over there. KC Metro area native, and then also Carter Jensen, who's now just been called up to AA.
So both of them were failures at tackle and flag football. So it's baseball?
Yeah, maybe, or that, they didn't want to get the concussions and all that stuff.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, so.
It's possible to get concussions in baseball too.
Yeah, for real. Yep.
I, one time in the outfield, caught a softball with my forehead.
Softball with your forehead.
That was a really fun day for me.
I would think, if you're laying down a bunt and it just ticked off the bat and just hit you in the head. So yeah.
No, I was in left field.
Oh, left field.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I would.
Fully lost it in the sun. And how softball players, especially the pitcher, wears a mask?
Yeah.
Yeah, my coach made me wear a mask in the outfield. It was really embarrassing for 2 weeks.
The pitchers do that. And then they're like, Alex, we're going to give you a mask.
Yeah.
We're going to give you a mask.
Yeah. It's all right. It was a learning experience, and I learned to never drop the ball or hit it with my forehead because it's more embarrassing.
Learning curve.
Yeah.
Learning curve. So I have to ask, so your sort of, college career, you're still in it. Tell us a little bit more about how you have developed at KU.
Right.
And just sort of done that stuff.
First of all, love how you said it like we don't talk every
KU?
single day.
KU? Yeah, I'm just kinda like doing that.
So yeah, I grew up in Overland Park, went to Blue Valley North High School, played softball a lot, played soccer, basketball, all the things, and then decided not to go play in college. I had an offer to play at College. Yeah, never had heard of it. It's near like Cedar Rapids or something in the middle of Iowa.
I don't even know where Cedar Rapids is.
Middle of Iowa.
Middle of
I
Iowa.
think.
Okay.
I think, unless I'm just really stupid and don't know
It's
geography.
Iowa. It's just
Yeah.
Iowa.
So decided to go to KU. I'm in Greek life at KU. I've been working with Media Crossroads for the past 3 years of school. This year I've kind of like slowly fallen back from that, specifically just honestly more work experience. I switched to pretty much doing school all online just because, again, work experience.
Right.
Which part of me is like, dang, when were you at school? I need to like be a college kid for a little bit. But I'm just so done with it. I feel like I have this sounds so cliche. I have a very old soul. Like when I was 8, I redecorated my room to look like it was Beatles themed.
That is the best. I love it.
We're moving right now, and I just found a Alex's top 10 favorite songs from 2009. So I was 6. There were 3 Green Day songs on there.
3 Green Day songs. Would you love to sing it for us?
No.
Okay.
No, I would not
sorry,
actually.
sorry.
Thanks.
Okay.
This is not a music show anymore. This was a music station.
Yeah.
No more.
Yep.
So I don't know. I guess I'm ready to be a full-fledged adult. I say that, but also I am not.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have done shows through Media Crossroads. I actually was the producer for a sports betting show for a year at KU. Really fun.
Right.
Until
That's a cool concept.
Oh, it was so much fun. It was like a game show style almost. So like our hosts would every week have a couple different like bets that they were each kind of playing against each other.
Yeah.
And whoever's bets like hit more frequently, and if like the more crazy a bet was, the more points you would get. So you know, if you were taking like KU basketball money line against, you know, a school you've never heard of, you're not going to get very many points for that in our show. But if you were taking a 5-leg parlay, or you're taking like a total underdog, you're going to get more points. So that's how the show was kind of.
It sounds like ESPN has to take some notes on a new game show opportunity for SportsCenter. Who would think of that? Like that would be a great idea.
Actually, it's not my idea. I can't even take it. I just produced it.
Oh, you just produced it. Well, I mean, ESPN. I think that'd be a cool show to have.
I do too.
I mean, with ESPN is more like sports news, all that. Or Scott Van Pelt is more like, you know, late night sort of deal. But a game show on ESPN, that'd be interesting.
Maybe I'll have to call him up. Say, hey,
yeah,
ESPN
I know
KC.
I know Mr. ESPN. I call him up frequently and say, hey, you should do this. But yeah,
should. Yep. So that was my I guess like upbringing in sports broadcast. In high school, I was in sports. I did yearbook. I did social media. For the yearbook, I did all the sports stuff, and then got to college and said, let's do the only thing in journalism I don't know how to do. I had done writing, I had done page design. So started up TV broadcast, and then again for, you know, interned at 810 last summer and literally never left.
Yeah.
So I've done everything. But
yeah, it sounds like you've been through all of it. You've touched every sort of scenario.
It's been the goal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the writing, I can't say I'm the best at the writing part.
It's hard.
But, you know, I can like say that I could set up a camera and a microphone.
Hey, that's important too.
I guess so, yeah.
I can come and talk about myself all day, but that's why I have you.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, speaking of Mr. ESPN himself, tell us about the Jonesboro experience.
Oh, the Jonesboro experience. So freshman year or senior year of high school, I'm struggling of finding a college. I'm like trying to find something that speaks to me. I'm looking at Mizzou, I'm looking at KU, I'm looking at Northwest Missouri State, and these are big time schools, and I'm just like not like connecting with them. And then I take a trip down to Jonesboro, and I fall in love with it instantly. Like this,
Why?
Because I grew up in Arkansas, sort of like I would be visiting family there constantly, and we have a cabin down there. My grandpa's from there, and we'd take trips down there, so I'm familiar with the Arkansas area. And yeah, so I fell in love with it instantly. I applied immediately, and I heard about their ESPN program, which is basically they have students work the sports productions for ESPN Plus, because we were mostly on ESPN Plus. We're not like all the big time schools on ESPN.
That means you had the opportunity though.
Yeah, I know.
Like, really easily
for
could
real.
just say, give me hands-on experience.
Yeah, exactly. And that was like the big thing that opened my eyes was like, as a freshman, you could take yourself, and if you were passionate and motivated enough to do it, they would let you do it, and it
Awesome.
was so much fun. So basically, I emailed them, and they got back to me and remembered when I toured and stuff. And so when I got down there, I was working camera,
Mhm.
replay, graphics, all the works. And yeah, and I kind of just stuck around a lot, and they seemed to like me a lot. And then I just got into being a station manager for our cable television
Just
network casually, and got producer of the year in the state of Arkansas. So
Wow,
yeah, so
okay.
that was a big time deal. That was one of the highlights of my college life was getting that, because that
Mhm.
was just like I've always wanted that. And so when I did it, I was just like, I can't regret anything that I've done here. So like I've checked all the boxes. So yeah, that's
How did
like,
like, what roles would that producer job even have?
so basically,
Because I know when I say I produced,
yeah,
I herded cats.
right.
That's what I did.
Basically, what I would do, I would produce 5 shows on
Mhm.
our cable television network. So we had my show, which was like a late night sort of show that me and my friend Ty Phillips did. And
Fun.
then there was a sports show that we did called Red Wolf Roundtable, produced that as well. And then there was also a game show that we also had that I would
Fun.
do, and just make sure, our hosts are okay, and setting up cameras, making sure shots are looking great throughout the show, and making sure segments are on point, and where timing is really, I mean, it's you basically are running the whole thing.
Mhm.
And I guess, I sent them my sizzle reel of all the stuff that I did, and the state of Arkansas really enjoyed it. And man, I was so happy to get that plaque. And yeah, it was awesome.
That's fun. The only in high school, I guess, I got some awards for, our school had, like, the
Yes.
best, or it was, I think we were, like, 2nd best social media for a, like, high school journalism program in
Yeah.
Kansas. But,
There's
like, my name wasn't on that, and then I guess, like, sports photography, I actually had a couple of, like,
there you
1st and
go.
2nd places, but, like, in college, the only one that I had was, another show I was on called Run It Back. We did, like, small segments. It was
Mhm.
a 30-minute show once a week where we specifically talked about KU sports, I
Really?
think.
That's so cool.
Specifically, I did KU sports. I don't remember if everyone else did, but we got some sort of Kansas broadcaster, whatever, but, like, we gave the award to our producers, just the
Mhm.
overall show.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's the thing with Kansas. It is a great school to go to,
Mhm.
especially because, my mentor, Brett Akagi, he taught at Kansas,
Okay.
and he said one of the best journalism programs out there. Like, he would compare it to anything.
That's why I looked there. I looked
Mhm.
at KU, MU,
Mhm.
OU, and Texas were my
Right.
big 4. And
Right.
my parents were not happy about MU, but I was like, "Hey, journalism.
Journalism, yeah,
Journalism."
it's right. Yeah,
And
it's
I
stand on business.
exactly was set on not going to KU. And
Yeah.
my mom one day was just like junior year of college, like, "Come on, just go to, like, a junior day at KU with me.
Right.
You'll get to skip a day. I'll take you to a fun
Skip a day of high
lunch."
school.
Right. So I went fully not wanting to go to KU,
Mhm.
even though I love KU. Like, I'm a 3rd generation Jayhawk. I was like, I
And
love KU. I
yeah.
don't want it to be my school. And I fell in love with it specifically because of the journalism program, which is actually really funny because I then switched my major and I'm not a journalism major anymore. I'm a
Yeah.
sports management major.
Yeah.
But fell in love with it because all the other schools were like, we're really competitive.
Mhm.
It's a great school, but you're gonna have to take all of these like basically grammar classes before we'll put you on the field. And
Yeah.
KU was like, all right, day one.
Yeah.
You want to be a sports broadcaster? Cool, we
Go,
got you.
go. Yeah, exactly. And
And
that's so cool.
right.
And such a great opportunity for any student that's like, kind of like, I was sort of the student to where it's like I don't want anybody to think like I'm pushing anybody's buttons
Right.
or like I'm stepping on anybody's toes. So it was kind of cool to hear from you. And then also, Kansas and A State do the same thing where it's like they're so
Mm-hmm.
like we need your help. How can you push this program forward? And yeah, I think
Well,
I'm
and it
here.
made my best friends. Like,
Yeah,
all of my
yeah.
best friends are either they're somehow related in sports media at KU.
Mhm.
Not all, but a
Right,
vast majority of them, which
right.
is really fun because we all, have like fun little fantasy football leagues and
Exactly.
everything. And for me, it's really cool watching like, hey, I'm not the only other girl who's really interested in sports media. There are some girls like working so hard and seeing like I have a friend who actually this week just got a job working for ESPN, like Charlotte. She graduated a year early, and watching like those friends. And so that's kind of like part of why I wanted, like when you and I, how do we even start the conversation of let's do a podcast together? We were in the car coming back from the podcast studio. I don't remember which one of us kind of was like, here's an idea or let's do this together. But when like we started talking about it, I was like, this is so perfect.
Yeah.
It's like, I love watching like, hey, let's talk to our friends who are doing amazing things. Not just our friends, but you know, like the young people. That sounds really cheesy. But I mean, I know you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Of other people trying to achieve the same thing of breaking into such a tough industry, whether that's on the athlete side, the media side, the like, hey, I want to be a sports agent side. Now let's talk to them about what they're doing to get there. And then hopefully in 5 years we can say, hey, remember that college kid who was a sophomore in college?
Exactly.
Now they're like
the best.
They're the next Erin Andrews.
Yeah, for real. And that's one of the goals of this. And yeah, it's just I want to just reach out to anybody that's out there that wants their story told. And there's definitely some interesting stories out there. And it's just we're using this as like a funnel to like get
a platform for everyone. And then hopefully the goal would be also like advice, I guess, and inspiration and for say like, oh, there's a current we've been talking to a Chiefs cheerleader who's going to be on soon, which I'm really excited about, who grew up dancing in the Kansas City area. I would say like, okay, take her story. See, look, she did succeed. Yeah. Like, how'd she get there?
Exactly.
Let's talk about it. And like, let's see where she's going to be in 5 years kind of thing.
Show these youngins that they can do it. You know what? They can do it.
How inspirational.
I'm so inspirational whenever I just think about it. Just, you can do anything. Just put your mind to it.
It makes me like way too excited. And I hype up my friends probably way too much, but I think the world of the people around me, and those are the stories that need to be told.
Right.
And let's keep sharing those essentially.
Yeah, for real. And so back on to, we're making it through college and we're getting through it. And, I make my way here to 810. And first off, like my dad and I were like looking for jobs. And I'm just struggling. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm getting no's from people and I'm like stressing out. And my dad's like, look, I got my childhood friend knows this guy at 810.
Oh, I didn't know this. Yeah, this is new to me.
Chad Corey. So my dad's childhood friend knew Chad Corey. And so childhood friend gave my dad Chad Corey's number, then passed it on to me.
Right.
I reached out to him and we set up a Zoom or a phone call, I believe, like 2 days later.
Okay.
Told him like everything I was about. And like, I came to Arkansas State with like no friends and like figured out a way to like be good at something a little. So that was sort of what I was telling him on the, the simplified version. But yeah. And so he was like, well, during spring, what are you doing during spring break? And I was like, nothing now. Like, let's go. Like, I'm coming back to Kansas City and and he's like, I'll give you a tour around the station and we'll go from there.
And I remember that.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
I get there and I am like, right now, my hands are sweating. Like my hands are sweating. I know. I get that whenever I'm just like, I don't know why, but I get out of the elevator and I didn't know it till now.
I know. I literally didn't think about it until like a couple like weeks ago.
It was literally you at the front desk. I was like, is Chad Corey here?
Yeah.
And he was like, let me go get him. And so, Chad Corey takes me around the studio and
I definitely thought you were an intern.
Yeah, definitely. I would say 99% of the people when I started here.
To be fair, like the week that you were touring, we also gave tours to like potential interns.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so funny.
So like that's why I thought so. Like it made sense.
Yeah,
it was the context.
Of, it's the late intern. Oh, he's just they're showing another intern?
Exactly.
But yeah, I guess
nothing wrong with interns.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with interns as well. So, I gave me the tour and I just decided, and this was the place I wanted my first job to be. And man, has it been fun. Like the first week going to Chiefs charity softball game.
I was so stressed for that event.
Yeah, and I was lost.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Where's Alex?"
I
Like,
kind of think that's when we met.
yeah, I showed up like 30 minutes early, and then
Okay, to be fair, Gabe. So a little bit of structure of our jobs. We both work in the promotional department. You also get kind of digital tasks from Corey or from, people on the digital side, but my main focus is that marketing promotional side.
Event planning and stuff like that.
So Gabe puts me, that's our boss, on like this, take care of the RSVPs. I've had so many issues with tickets because of just like miscommunications and everything, and tells me to get there. I think he told me to get there at 2, but told you and the other interns are gonna be there at 1:30. So hey, I was at the office. I left at like 1:30, and then as soon as I leave, I start getting texts from like all of you, and it's like numbers I do not have saved yet. Like, hey, where are you? And I'm like,
I don't know.
I'm literally early. Like in my head, because I like my arrival time was like 1:50 or something like that.
And you get the text from me. It's like, what does this intern want? Like,
wait, oh no!
You get the text from me. You're like, what does this intern want?
Right. I was just so confused, and I was like, I'm trying to herd cats.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, we have I think 6 interns there, and you and me, and didn't know what was happening, and only like 4 field passes.
Right.
But it all worked out. It was fine.
And
we almost lost one of our banners, but we found it.
Yeah, it was a definitely like an eye-opening moment. Like, I hate to have this like feeling of like, holy cow, that's Trey Smith. But like when Trey Smith and like Felix FAU, like when he came sprinting over after a overthrown ball to first base, and he came running over, I'm like, man, he is getting very close. And just, and he's just getting bigger and bigger as he's like coming here. And me and Bethany had to, jump out of the way. But yeah, it was definitely a fun, eye-opening moment to like introduce and like, hey, you're at 810 Sports.
Yeah.
Like, this is so
big
cool.
time.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah. And just thinking, and then when like as weeks go on, everybody thinks that, oh, you're not an intern.
It's because we're young. We have the baby face.
Got you. Yeah. And I'm just like, no, like, it's like I need a shirt that says I am not an intern. And like I'm
gonna get one for your birthday.
That would be the best thing ever. And I'm gonna hang it on my desk. But one of the actual interns, Blake, was like, I had to look. He was pretty cool, and I went up and introduced myself. And I was like,
they're all pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. So they were all cool this year. Those interns helped out.
I'm gonna miss some of them. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So I interned last summer. I know you know this.
Oh yeah. I want to go on that.
Okay.
Like, how
what
do
you want to know?
I just want to know, like, how did you get connected with that?
Yeah.
And just how did that like experience go for you? If people want to get involved, because I think more people should do this. This is so much fun.
I agree. So my dad was a sales guy here, like 2002 to 2009, something like that.
Yeah.
And then actually left to go work with his father-in-law, my grandpa. I knew I wanted to work in sports broadcasting, did not know how to get into it. Didn't know like, how do I get an internship? Had all my like these stories from friends that were older than me, friends my age, who were struggling. They were getting so many no's. And so I was talking to my dad about it, and he was like, oh, like, we just got to text Chad. Like, I'm sure he would let you. And I didn't realize. I was like, oh, you mean Mr. Chad Boger that like we've been family friends with forever? I didn't know he was like big time, like important guy. I didn't realize that we had that connection. I just thought it was, oh, my dad used to be a sales guy. I didn't know that we still had that like good relationship or anything like that. And he was like, yeah, I'll hook it up. And then Mr. Boger texted me and was like, yeah, like, let's get a time to call sometime. And the one thing I've always said about him as like a boss, a company, like president, anything like that, is the only negative I can think of is he's too proud dad. Sometimes I'm like, I need a little structure. I need like you to tell me, hey, Alex, this is happening. I need you at this time, at this place. And he's very just like, oh yeah, whatever works, which is great. But when you're a terrified little, like, I think I was
intern.
Like 19. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, sure, you can intern. I'm like, okay, like I need it in writing. I want you to say, Alex, you're coming in on these days. So he pretty much gave me like the yes in a simple like text or a phone call. I don't remember. And then he was like, here's my work email. Just email me your general schedule of what you want. And I was like, awesome. Didn't hear from him for like 2 months. Started freaking out. I'm like, was this just like a set in passing thing? Was he serious? Am I now like did I drop the ball and I don't have an internship? I don't know what's happening. Went on the I shouldn't even like say this, I don't think. Well, I went on the 810 website, found his assistant's email, emailed her, and was like, so I can send you like the screenshot proof if you need, but like, I don't know. Can you get a hold of Mr. Boger? Because I cannot.
Yeah.
Do I have an internship? And she was like, yeah, you do. Like, I'll get on him. And within an hour, he emailed me back and was pretty much like, sounds great. We'll see you like May, whatever, like after school ended. So yeah, I interned. And every other intern last summer was broadcast. They sat in the booth. They wanted to learn the buttons. They wanted to be on air as much. And I was like, I want to do marketing. I want to learn how to be Mr. Boger. And it's worked out for me because I'm the only intern from last summer that's still around. So
yeah, exactly.
So I'm still close with a couple of them actually. But interned all summer, worked a couple events for them over like fall semester. And then Mr. Boger texted me and same thing. Hey, do you want to start like working part-time over winter break? Was working the front desk for a while and then got moved over next to the promotional offices and have kind of been rolling with it ever
desk,
since.
By the way, I'm so jealous. Like your office is the coolest.
Okay. Like, the only reason I have my own office, because my old desk used to be where Belinda sits now.
Yeah.
So I kind of would split time either at her spot in the sales pitch or the front desk, just because we needed someone there.
Right.
The only reason I'm put there was so that either Chad or Gabe can just yell at me with like tasks, and I was
Alex, we need the golf tournament. Let's go.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So what would you say is your favorite intern event, like that they have you working and stuff and being a part of?
The golf tournament, both this year and last year. The golf tournament's been the most fun. I think it's been like the opportunity that gives every hands-on deck person the most opportunity to like say, okay, am I going to sit back and kind of watch everything else happen? Or am I going to take charge and just like take the initiative and say, hey, this hole needs more ice. I'm going to be the person filling that ice. Hey, whatever. And I think that's also a cool thing about 810 is the
ability of adapting to any situation. I've learned that everybody here is like so adaptive and they will just, if they get a situation that pops up in front of them, they'll take care of it in less than 5 to 10 minutes.
It doesn't matter, especially at those events. Like it doesn't matter your position or your status.
Right.
Most of the company is 100% willing to be like I've watched Mr. Boger, like again, president of the company,
right,
picking up trash cans at like our barbecue event.
Exactly. We all have one goal, and it's to make our clients happy,
right,
and make sure they're having a fun time.
It's a team.
Exactly. It's a team thing, and that's what honestly drew me towards 810 was, everybody's like willing to just like everybody's friends with you, but with everybody.
So that's my favorite thing is like the family and team atmosphere. And I mean, I've said this to your face, like you've become one of my best friends, which is so weird because we've only known each other for like a month. 2 months.
Yeah.
Like the interns last year's, like I still talk every day to a couple of the interns last year.
Right.
I visited one of them in Sabetha, Kansas, which is a town of I think 80 people this summer, because I was like, I'm still close with these people.
Yeah, exactly. Just go for it.
I mean, we hang out, like we go to music bingo on Wednesday nights. Like that's what I love is like the young people here have tried to make that environment like very welcoming and very and
that's
like
so awesome.
Not to say the old people here, but yeah, the old people here.
The people that have been grinding
they do too.
Tail off.
Yeah. Also, like I, as a 21-year-old, it feels weird to say that when we sit in our sales meeting, I'm totally comfortable like saying my piece about work, and I'm respected as like a
as a coworker.
Right.
And you are a part of the team. We don't. They're no good in like keeping your ideas like within. So just
I do feel funny sometimes though, like saying slay and then be like, this person has no idea what I'm talking about. Actually,
Curtis is like slay, like Curtis, like
I'm gonna get him to figure it out eventually.
Curtis will figure it out 100%.
So I think for now that's all we got going. But let's talk about the future. Where is this going?
Right. I think if I'll say this and then I'll let you say your piece because you're a lot better at speaking than me.
Oh, okay.
So it's just, if you want to get your story out and you want to hear people and market yourself as well, come on.
That's what we're here to do.
Yeah,
basically just gonna take any youth athlete, even in high school. Like if you or someone that you know wants to be a college athlete and is going through that recruitment process, let's talk about it. Let's talk about like the commitment it takes. Same thing. They're already in school. I have a bunch of friends that play soccer, tennis, football.
All the
Those
above.
are the only sports I can think
All
of.
the
Baseball,
above.
yeah. Who I'm gonna reach out to them and their teammates and just see who we can talk to about getting into the field. Same thing with the broadcast side.
Right.
So tell those stories, celebrate those stories, as well as continuing to share our journeys. I mean, we're doing the same thing. We're still breaking in.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because there's a lot more that we had said on this episode that we haven't said yet, and there's just so much more to this job that's so much fun, and we have the best stories, so they need to be told on here because it'd be so funny.
Well, for now, I think we're gonna close out, but thank you for sitting through our very first episode. We're learning a lot. There's definitely a couple and awkward moments of, hey, how do we do this? But we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out together, and yeah, until next time.